Let's also add one of these because I can, so you're not looking at my back the entire time. Audio, video, let's also add one of these. Oh, I'm echoing. There we go. Add existing. I should have done this ahead of time. But, you know, this is what we got. This is how we do things. I think we'll put that right over the light there because that's where that usually is anyway. So, hope everybody's doing good today. Does that work? That sort of works, huh? I should put it over I should track it to my bald head is what I should do. We can go up with it a little bit, and I think we can go over with it a little bit like that. Maybe like that. How's that look? Good? Fantastic. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're all doing good. Today is going to be hopefully the third and final day on this. We do have a thing going on at 4 o'clock that I got to get ready for a little bit later. But, you know, it is what it is. And we'll see what we can get finished up, and maybe we'll come back to it a little bit later on as well. But this is where we're at with it. The first week was cutting. Let me go backwards. So this is a Lund style stool. I keep saying that it was from Ireland, and I realized that I was completely wrong. It's a Viking Age stool from Lund, Sweden. A seat top was found, although there are several other examples of this style stool hanging around. But this one here is all made just from a piece of 2x8. The first week was cutting the legs, cutting and shaping the legs. The second week, or last week, was the top. And hopefully this week we're going to finish it off. We got to shape the legs a little bit more, trim the bottoms, and wedge them in there. Yeah, that's where we're going with. So, hope everyone's doing well. And yeah, so the first thing that or one of the other things that I did last week also was at the very end of last week, one of the legs, I don't even know where it is. One of the original legs that I'd cut was very, very loose. I don't see where it went to, so I guess it's not important. But anyway, one of the legs was very loose, so I went ahead and did finish up the third one here. I think it was this one here. Finished up the third one off stream. It's got a couple little nicks and stuff. Each of the legs needs a little shaving up and stuff, but we'll go from there. So what I do need is I need a couple of wedges for the top, and got a piece of what is this? A piece of maple here. This is softwood here, and we're gonna go with some pine here. Slipping in the vise. What's everybody else up to today? Anything good? Any good crafts? I see what's going on. So one of the problems with this type of vise is that it twists and torques a little bit. And here, to help secure the other end a little bit. Over there. So it's on our wrong window over there. That's better. Good for that. Anybody else doing anything exciting and fun today? We stayed up way too late watching more Time Team and other things last night ourselves. Give myself a nice straight line here for later. I'm looking at I'm probably going to be making another one of these soon, so that we can have a matched set, which will be by far anything but matched, I'm sure, but definitely taking the lessons that I learned from this one and putting it into the next one. Sue is very happy because she'll get this one as a hand-me-down and I'll get the new one. She seems to think otherwise, which will probably be the actual case, but you know, we'll see. Scrap wood pile. And voila, 1, 2, and 3. There we go, right there. These should hopefully do the trick. Obviously they need to get shaped down into slightly more wedge shape, but you know. is next? I like the way that that one and that one fit. I might shave this one just a touch to get a little bit more consistency out of it. And I keep threatening to do a sharpening video, and I keep not having the time. But I absolutely need to. Absolutely glad that we escaped having any snow down here, but I feel bad for all our friends up in Maine that still don't have power. I think that was just enough of what was needed to get a slightly better fit on that one. Could be a little bit better, but I like it. Good enough. All right, so if I am correct, the grain for the wedge has got to cross the grain. Right, because if I cut with the grain, that's going to split. So that is our goal there. And this one's going to come down a little bit before I cut it, but it definitely needs to go across. And cut about that much off it to start. We're gonna put that on the outside, that on the side, so that way I know which direction it needs to go. When I put them back in, that one's still really good. That one's still, that one's going to be just fine. I know it is. Alright, so we're going to do the big saw for this one. A slightly finer saw on this next cut. This one's a little thinner than the other. Exactly know how deep I'm supposed to make this either. So we're just going to wing it. This will be for the wedge. Someone asked me last week if this would be something that can be taken apart, and at the end of the day with these wedges we won't be able to. The wedges are gonna keep it in there firm and tight. Really gave me problems this week. We don't want to go all the way through, I don't think. So we're gonna go about there, about halfway through. I like it. All right. Get this one started here, and then I think this one's at a different angle. But hope you all are doing good out there. Probably would work if I had it going this way, right? Normally I'd want to put this further down, but with it tapered, there's not enough meat there to hold it. Just a little bit more cut to it. There we go. All right, so Boom, bada boom. This one is here, and I have lost my So one thing that I did the other day was marked each leg with 1, 2, or 3 dots, and I realized that in cutting off the top of this one, that got rid of those dots, and I can barely see the others. Alright, if I'm going to shape the legs more, I should do that before... Yeah, if I shape the legs more, I should do that before I go ahead and wedge those in, huh? Yeah, good plan, Dan. Love it. So we're going to do them one at a time. And I think we're going to do it with the draw knife. So, all I really want to do is knock off some of these hard edges there as we go through. Give it a little bit of an octagonal. I don't know how close to octagonal I want to go. But now that I'm kind of doing this, I don't think I want to go too far. Actually, I'm liking that. That's going the wrong way on the grain. It's going the wrong way. Nice and gentle. Starting to kind of get the hang of this tool here. Definitely see where a shave horse would come in handy though for this. A little more. Perfect. All right. Little knot right here. But took care of it like it was butter. A little deeper in there because I kind of went a little too much. Voila. Nice and done. We'll probably hit it with a little bit of sandpaper there just to take off a couple of the high spots, but that one is as good as done. You belong back there. Leg number 2. That one worked amazing. This has to come down. Perfect. This one's looking great as well. Which one did I want to trim off a little more? You. Towards me, or away from me, you are. Towards me. Not bad, not bad. Turn away. Voila. Here we go on this one. Which leaves you. Now that I made that one a little bit more octagonal, I'm going to go back to that first one again, now that I'm getting the hang of what I'm looking for. A boom. A little too much on that one, but a little overzealous on that one, I think, but whatever. Area over here that I want to smooth out between everywhere. A few more knots in it on this side. And in a moment, I better quit while I'm ahead. I have no I have no material left. You are going to have to do, and we're going to come back here. Kristen, is this the finishing touches on the stool? Yes, Kristen, this is. I got that last leg done at the very end of last week. Now I'm making the legs from square to a little bit more octagonal. I've cut some pieces for wedges, though I have to make them more into the shape of a wedge. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of shaping the leg a little bit, and we're going to take everything we learned on this one, and not today, but we're going to start another one pretty soon, so that Sue and I can each have one. And, I guess that the next one is going to have a couple of improvements along the way, but now that I have a better idea of how to do it, it's bound to be that way. We watched a great Time Team special episode last night on Dover Castle, and they have a couple of replica chairs in that are just fantastic. But they're going to require a lathe to produce, and yeah, we'll just see how that moves along, how that project goes during this downtime. I've got a work-related project to work on tonight after the sun goes down. I don't want to go through each of these now that I've made them octagonal-ish, and just peel off that little bit, and that's why I'm not going to. A little bit of tear out. Maybe that's what the plane is for. I think that's what the sandpaper is going to be for later. Now, you know what? I started. I'm going to do it. Check that message there in just a second. Go to flip this again. Yeah, definitely watching my fingers. I still have 10. Yeah, Kristen, I hope to have it finished tonight, and or at least mostly finished. Not, I don't think I'm going to get it any sort of finish on it tonight. But yeah, have a great afternoon. Nick, if you're still out there, hope you're doing well. keeping busy. I like that much better. Yeah, perfect. Do the same on these guys. All I'm doing is just taking a quick shave off of each of these hard edges there. One, two, three, four. Five. Broadway. It's a little much, but I feel like I missed this one going around. Or at least a little bit from there. Perfecto. Surviving in splendid isolation. All thumbs. Yeah, I used to be too, and I feel that the more I practice at this, the more I play with it, the better off I am with it, which is fantastic. Having a great time doing this, which is the most important part of the whole entire thing. It's the most important part of the process in general, I think, is as long as you're having fun doing it. You know, we all see our own mistakes, and believe me, I see all of the imperfections in this one, and this is certainly not a beauty piece by any stretch of the imagination. But what I'm enjoying about this, compared to what some other people out there are doing, is I'm enjoying making the everyday item the something that, you know, every household would have, every workshop maybe, you know, and I'm sure I'm taking so much more time doing it than some of the other ancient craftspeople, and just making a silly little stool. But
not silly. I need a place to sit.
Sue says it's not silly that she needs a place to sit. And, I mean, I need a place to sit too, because
no way I'm gonna get up without help.
Because like Sue, once I get on the ground, there's no way I'm getting up without help at this point. But yeah, this is definitely more of a utilitarian piece, and I'm definitely taking much more time at it than I probably need to be. But if I can figure it out the first time, the next time's going to be that much better. The next one's going to be that much smoother, both shape and process. miss an edge like that one. There's a couple of weird spots going on here. Sue Nick Noble says hello.
Hey, Nick.
And says you will be well seated.
I know.
She says hello. Wishes you well. A couple of weird spots going on up in here that I don't want them to become weak spots. Zoom. Right down to the ground. There we go. Alrighty, I think if I don't call them done, we will never get done. And I think that that is also another important lesson, is at some point you just got to call it done and move on, you know? Maintaining a really nice edge, which is fantastic. Alright, let's get you put away. Let's get some of you wood chips out of here. Let's get the floor, a couple of these out of the floor here. My other goal, and I started with a pile over here already, but when I make the second one, I'm going to make sure that this pile is clear so you all can see how much wood has been taken off of this thing as well. Can I make it over there with this camera? This pile here that you can see, and that's I don't know, that's half maybe a little bit more than half of that is this from this project here. And those that have been watching along for the past few weeks. Alright, so I've got a seat top. I've got 3 legs that I can always tweak up just a touch. There's a little knot on that right over here. Now I cut 3 pieces of maple, and I need to make these more wedge shaped. How am I going to do that? He asked myself knowingly, because I really don't know how I'm going to do that. I'm going to try method number 1. Which way do I want to put these in? I want to put them in. I guess I want to try putting them in that way. Alright, let's try with sharp implement number 1. A chisel. This bench hook is not holding it well enough to even get purchase on it. Slash, this chisel probably could use a little sharpening. Let's try my next widest. one of these days I'm actually going to sharpen my tools again. So Kite, this one is actually full size. I can't get down to it, but I've got a kitchen chair over here on the side here, but I got a bunch of stuff on it. And the kitchen chair, the bottom of it is just under 17 inches off the ground. And this is actually 18 and a half off the ground. I've got a little bit that'll have to cut off it, but yeah, that's the full size right there. Something nice and small that'll stick in the back seat of the car, and yeah, I'll be able to bring around to events. I don't know, Kite, how much you've been hanging out or seeing of any of this progress here, but if I flip over to this, you guys see yourself a little bit. This piece here, this is the remains of an extant example. Up here, this is a recreation there, and unfortunately, I don't have a totally great size, but this guy's reproduction of it is 40 by 20, and I know I'm on the wrong thing, and you can't see me looking around for that tape measure that I just literally had in my hand. What I need to do is set up a couple of macros on this so that I can just quickly move back and forth on it. You know, and I realize that that's not too terribly much of an extant example to go on, but like, I mean, y'all literally saw that I had the tape measure in my hand, right? And I measured it out. Did you all see where I went with that tape measure afterwards? And I know the video is behind, and I was stupid, and I didn't. It's right over here. I am losing my mind. So what did I say? 40 by 20 centimeters. So yeah, this one's about 35. So another 40 is about there, and it's about 20. It's like 18. This is made out of a piece of 2x8. But you know what? I kind of test fit my butt on it the other day, and it seemed to work pretty okay. It was also the size of wood that I had, and I have to imagine that, you know, that they're just taking, you know, whatever size piece of board they have lying around to try to do this. I can't imagine that there's a set standard, so to speak, at that point in life. But, you know, I might make the next one a little wider just to see, you know, to see some differences, to see if it's a little bit more, if there's a little more stability with it, maybe, or anything like that. So, how does this work? How do I make the wedges? It's probably something I should have looked up to see how other people are doing this process. I think it all boils down to these chisels need a good sharpening. Completely denting up the inside of that. Put a sacrificial piece of wood in there. Adam, how are you doing? Hope things are going well out there. Out in your neck of the woods. Do you guys get a lot of snow where you guys are? I know that they got hammered up north. This is not working the way that I wanted it to or intended it to. And I definitely should have looked up. To see the methods of doing this. Do not think include shaving it like this. Adam, I'll read that in just a second. It just came through. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing fine. No snow. You guys are both still working full time. That's great. Yep, Sue is laid off right at the moment, but I'm still working the UPS job, and I'm working 3 days a week at the studio, though it sometimes feels like I'm working 7 days a week at the studio because it never has changed. And that's certainly has some advantages to it, and it's got a couple of disadvantages as well, I think. But I'm going to guess that when I'm making a wedge, though, that it's got to be less of an angle than that is my guess. How could I modify this plan? Let's try option number 2. Option numero dos. I was trying not to totally kill this piece of wood, but you know what I like about this is that, so this is the piece of maple that I cut those bits from, and the width of said maple is just a little less than the leg. Wonder if, using that draw knife that I've been using, if I can do something fancy there. And then I might have to run out to the interwebs. And it's actually 3:30. And I have somewhere to be online in about 30 minutes. So I don't know. This is gonna get me a shaving, but not. That'll give me a shaving, but not an actual wedge. So maybe I was on the right path. Maybe if I didn't cut it as small and was able to throw it on the wood plane. But I think at this point, because I have it so small, I've got to just go back to this is my guess and my thought. We might come back to this project after this other thing I have going on. And that just completely split you in half, but that's okay because that's a good width. That's because I was going into the grain the wrong way. I have a book upstairs that I bet you has all of the answers that I need for this one. And I think that will be my project here in a little bit. So I guess I'm going to have to say, y'all, thanks for watching. And I've got a work-related project to do this evening. Well, that, I mean, so I think that this is a little too extreme in the other direction. I don't know for sure though, but yeah, before I commit to, yeah, I better go, well, I don't know. Before I commit to it, I better go do a little bit of research and see what I might be doing incorrectly, or if there's a better, safer method, better method of doing this. I think maybe I don't know, it's possible I'm starting with too big of a piece there, but well, I don't know. Let me go take a couple of looks there. But y'all, thanks for tuning in this afternoon. Hopefully we'll see each other again real soon, and if not, we've got this. So have a wonderful afternoon. Stay safe, stay clean, stay hydrated, stay filled with bags of chips and other sorts of great things for your body. So awesome. All right, have a great one.